Hello guys and welcome back to this channel. So I'm losing about 30k on this trade, but I'm also gaining about 3 times the amount, right? Not necessarily three, but almost 3 times the amount. So just about 1:3 risk to reward. But I'm here to share to you guys the analysis and what I'm thinking whilst I'm actually executing this trade. Now, for now, all you can see is we are on a 5-minute time frame, and obviously you can see that price has taken a high right here, newer high right there. We have a push down and just this couple of moves right here. Now, this is not what I'm basing my analysis on. Obviously, I don't base my analysis on the 5-minute time frame. It's just meant for execution. Now, if I'm using a strategy that needs this 5-minute time frame, that is when I base my analysis on the 5-minute time frame. But let's look at this. So this is the trade that I'm actually currently in, right? This is the analysis for the trade. Not all the analysis, but just something for me to use to actually add as a confluence. Not necessarily me marking this. This doesn't show anything. What shows is the actual trend. Now, whenever I come into the market, I try my best and make good use of this drawing tool right here. Why? Because it's very, very important. Now, you could also use, I think, the line chart for this if you think it's going to be helpful for you. But I use this drawing tool. Why? Because I don't try to understand the market in my own concept. I want to understand the market as it is. So if the market is going up, I want to know whether the market is going up or is coming down. And to do so, if these candles are way too chubby like this, I just try my best and use this drawing tool, and it makes things extremely easy, right? So let's look at this. Is the market pushing all the way up or down? Now, obviously, currently the market is in an upward move, but a lot of traders will also argue that they could have sold from here all the way back down because we have a low right here that price might actually want to pull back down and actually push through it, right? That is also valid, but all of these things are just speculations. What is important is the actual trend. What is the trend doing? So when I come into the market, this is the first thing I do, especially if the market is not clear like this. This is what I do. I try and retrace or trace the market. I've said it countless times. Just try and trace the market. But this is where it gets powerful. Look at this. So this is the last low of this actual move right here. So we start from this zone right here. So last low, last high right there, price shot all the way back down. The wicks are important, trust me. We shot back up, created a new high right there, dropped back down, price went up, down, shoot, came back for a retest, push, rejection, and a push. Now, this is what we are having. You don't need to read it when it's on this level right this or when it's on this chart right here. You don't need to do anything with it. Just pick it, put it right here where you can see it clearly. Now try your best and analyze what is going on that market. So obviously what we can see, first things first, price created a change of character above this high right here, or market structure shift, right? We can see it clearly because price was in a downtrend. It shouldn't have been able to take out this high. So right now we have our MSS. You can choose to label it. Sometimes I just choose to leave it, right. We have our MSS right there. Now the next thing we need to do is mark the high that created that MSS because we want to see price break above this high right here. But that is not just the only thing. After this MSS created, remember it got created by this trend right here. So indicating that we have an order block below this zone that could actually shoot price all the way up. So let's say our order block is responsible for this double bottom right here. I've taught you guys how to trade a double bottom, right? I've taught you guys how to trade a double bottom. It's one of my strategies. It's called the SBS strategies. The SBS strategy. Sorry, you can get it on this channel. It's a very simple strategy, right? All you need is for price to be in a downtrend and or an uptrend. Just give you a double bottom with an immediate change of character. You are executing a buy right there. Stop loss goes below that double bottom. So a lot of people will be looking for price to clear that double bottom because there's liquidities there, but you are rather catching the upward move first. So yes, this is what we are currently having. We have our market structure shift. So price coming back to this zone is going to give us nothing but a BOS, right? Because we are continuing that uptrend. So with this market structure shift, it has already given us the clear view, the opportunity and understanding for us to get to know what is going on. So now we know we are almost in an uptrend, not currently in an uptrend, but almost in an uptrend. What do we do next? Do we buy from here? Of course not, because price has dropped all the way back down to its lowest. Price could have easily just given us an MSS and dropped through again and just continue shooting all the way down. So you always have to wait for your confirmations. We waited, price reversed, came back and reversed. If I was going to use the SBS strategy, I would have already been in the trade right here, around this zone right here. Stop loss goes below this level right there. But obviously, I'll be targeting this, and you know it would have been about just 1:1 risk to reward ratio, right? And moreover, this is a 1 hour time frame, so this is quite huge for a stop loss. So I don't want to do that. What do I do next? So after price came all the way back down to this zone right here, giving us a double bottom, right? So let's just write here as what? DP. So price give us a double, sorry, I think it should be DB, right? So double bottom, right? Sorry. So a double bottom right here, which is quite extremely good because it shows price rejection. So very, very good level for price to give us a double bottom, right? Nice. The next thing that price does is a shot all the way up, breaking above this high right here. So by this time, we already know these are internal structures. We know this is an internal structure right there. And obviously, even this high that price created is also an internal structure right there. So all these are internal structures. All these right here are just internal structures. The main structure or the main place that we want price to actually push above is this high right here, because we know from the understanding of price giving us a double bottom right here and we having an MSS right here, market structure shift, a change of character, anything that you want to call it, a BOS, because we know market structure has shifted. We know these are just bold up, bold up, bold up to push through this high right here. So because of that, we can now find a trade. Now this is where problem comes. How do you find a trade? Because you don't want to be the type of person who bought around this zone right here, because you'll be in a very huge drawdown, right? You'll be in a very huge drawdown. So you don't want to be buying about this zone right here. You want price to give you a fair game, price to give you a very good place to actually execute your trade. Now that is where you add in much more confluences. What is going to happen? What am I going to see? And what is going to make me want to execute a trade here or there? First things first, you can use the other blocks of this whole move right there. So from here, so we have an other block right here, other block right there, other block right here, and definitely an other block right here. So you can actually target these other blocks to execute your trades. Now, what I usually do is if there's a resistance zone or a support zone within that range, I just wait for price to drop back down into that resistance or support zone and I'll execute my trade. Or I use the breaker block, which is one of the easiest way to actually execute a trade. I taught you guys how to do this. With my breaker block model, price has to have a couple of rejections from that breaker block. With that, I know the breaker block is solid. So this time around, I wasn't on this chart, but when you look closely, you shouldn't have traded a breaker on a 1 hour time frame with this much stop loss. No, but you could have gone to a smaller time frame like 5 minutes or probably let's say 15-minute time frame. You could have gotten it very easy to trade right there, right? So this is what we are looking at. This is the breaker block. We can see rejections around it. We can see a support zone around it. So we know for sure that this breaker block is a good zone, but I've already said it and I've said it countless times. Price has to be inside the resistance zone of a breaker block for you to execute a trade, right? So you could have used a breaker block on this particular move and you probably have gotten a trade around here all the way upright. That would have been a very good range for you to get a trade. But look at me. I came into the market when we're around this zone right here. I did not get a trade. What do you think I'm going to do? So I use support and resistance. How am I going to mark my support zone? This was already done. I know this right here is a support zone right there. Very nice. I can already see rejections around this zone right here. I know for sure is also another support zone right there. So what do? I wait for price to break above that initial support zone. Look at this. Price went up. Sellers came into the market because that was the first touch. Sellers came into the market, we rejected price down, we dropped all the way through. I was still waiting for price to break above. So price did what? Finally broke above. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to execute my trade because with the understanding of this, which is actually the same trend right here, and this happens quite often than usual, right? You can always just pick it. Look at this range, how everywhere is clouded. Just try your best and make a little analysis. Don't use your conscience, just use what you are seeing on the chart. Please do not use your conscience. Like, I think this is going to happen. I think that is going, sorry, I think that is going to happen. Don't do that. Just use what you can see on the chart and it's going to be easy for you, right? So this is what we can see right here. We pick it, we put it right there. What do you think is happening? Obviously price has, so let me just use it again. Obviously price has given us a high right here, higher high right there, drop back down, swept liquidities below this zone right here, newer low, other block push all the way up. You know for sure that if price breaks above this high, we are going to continue pushing all the way up because you've already seen it here. So immediately price broke above this high, you are already going to be in a trade right there. Sorry, I think, all right. So you are already going to be in a trade around this zone right here, and you would have caught this move all the way up. Very, very simple stuff, right? Very, very simple. Just take your time, understand what's going on in the market, and execute your trade. You don't have to stress yourself. Every single thing right here you can use to execute a trade. If we look at this zone right here, it's even much, much more simpler for you to analyze and understand. Look at this. Just look at this. This is a pushback. I've told you the wicks are very, very important. Look at this. These wicks are very, very important. So just pick it from this zone. You can use the line chart. Sometimes the line chart is just too precise. So I want to be seeing what I'm actually looking at, right? So first things first, we can see a double top. Sorry, I thought I actually picked it. You can see a double top just around this zone right here. Quite nice, right? After that, what happened? Price failed to give us a newer high. Why am I not picking this? Sorry, let me just use this. So after that, what happened? Price failed to give us a new high, giving us a lower high right here, lower low right there. So what do you think is going to happen if price breaks below this? We are going to drop. It's that simple. It's just that simple. You don't have to stress yourself. Sometimes you just have to understand that the chart is just the charts. All you need to do is just use confluences to execute. Now, if I had actually drawn this right here, if I had drawn this right here on a paper for you to actually trade, you would have known how to trade this because you can see it clearly. You would have known how to trade this, but because it's in the charts and because it's messy, you don't understand what is going on or you don't get what is going on. So all you need to do is just make it simpler for yourself. When you look at it, you understand, you execute. I'm currently in the trade. I can still be in a drawdown. Why? Because there's still a fair value gap right here, which is an imbalance. And obviously, when you look closely, you can see that price is creating a lot of highs without going anywhere. So a lot of highs without price pushing is just a build up liquidity. You can say it. So price can easily just shoot either above this and just drop back down to this zone right here and continue pushing all the way up. That will be good because price will shoot up much more faster if it actually take out these liquidities right here. If price wants to continue just shooting up very fast, taking out these liquidities would have been very good, and pulling from this range right here would have been extremely better, right? But so far so good. If we are going to have these type of moves, then price will probably have these type of moves until we even get above this height right here, because it's probably not really going to do anything big. It's just going to be this moves. But yes, that is just it. You see how simple this is actually, right? You see how simple it is. Very simple. The confusion is the charts. The confusion is whatever is happening. Don't look at this big candle and say because this big candle is a sell, sellers are conquering the market. When price shot down from this zone right here, from this range all the way down, I made a video about this. I said where is gold going? My opinion on where gold is headed. I said it. Gold, I think it was still around this zone right here. Sorry, I think it was around this zone. Obviously, I think here we dropped. I got this trace right here. Hold on, let me check. I think I haven't traded gold in a while. I haven't traded. Oh, sorry about that. I haven't traded gold in a while, so yeah, I think it was around this zone right here. I got this trace. So around this level right there. I said it, I made a video about it and I said it. Gold hasn't done anything yet. Gold hasn't showed us anything. So there's absolutely no reason for you to be looking forward for sales within this zone all the way down. I said it. The only way gold can actually give us a direction or gold can tell us where it's going is for gold to shoot all the way back inside. If we have a rejection from this zone and a drop, then we'll probably know that maybe gold will continue doing that, which will just be a downtrend, right? That is what I said. And yes, look at it. Gold shot all the way back up to those highs right there before that rejection. Now, if you did not actually understand this and you think just because gold broke through this low, then it necessarily mean that gold was just going to retest it and continue dropping all the way down. You would have been doomed because this was quite good enough for you to put your entry here and your stop loss just above this zone right here. And price was swept through it like there's no other even there, right? Very, very simple. So you always have to understand what is going on before you trade. It's always good for you to either use the extreme levels, which is this zone right here. These are extreme levels. Price moves very, very fast from there. Or this zone right here, which is also extreme levels. Now, if you're also selling from here, that is a very good thing to do because this is a very good sell zone. Why am I saying this is a very good thing to do? Because price is price. I can also look at it this way, and I think price is going to continue. But what will happen from here? Price is just going to drop and continue shooting all the way down, right? So price is price. We always have to understand that, and that is why a lot of people lose. You think because your analysis is quite nice or your analysis is good for your entry, that necessarily means that's where the price is going to go. Absolutely not. My analysis can be good for me to be able to execute a trade, but I know anything can happen. Price can just drop back down and just continue dropping. I know this can happen as well. So that's why you always have to know your risk percentage. And remember, if your account is little, don't execute bigger trades on these accounts, right? And also, if you have clients like me and they did not tell you to execute bigger trades, they don't tell you to use bigger loss sizes. You don't have, let's say, you don't have you have a limit, right? You have a limit on the amount of loss sizes or amount of losses that you can make. Please don't go ahead and be executing bigger trades. Don't do that because it's not a good thing. Most of these companies, most of these people, most of these individuals or partners, they just want their profits. So even if it's not daily, even if it's not monthly, even if it's not even yearly, right? Take your time. If it's 10 years, they want an average income of 2% in 10 years. Take your time. You can go through a week, month, even 2 months without trading. It's not a big deal, right? Take your time, understand what is going on, and execute. But if you have a limit, for instance, within a month, this is the percentage that has to come out. You probably have to put in the work and understand what is going on and never over leverage. Never do what? Over leverage. Over leveraging is a very bad, bad thing. Never over leverage. And when you understand that you are in massive profits within the week, you can use the profits within the week to actually trade, right. Right now, if I lose this 30, if I lose this 30K right here, it's just profits that I've made within the week on BTC, right? It's not any big deal. Do you understand the concept? So it's not a drawdown. I'm still in profit overall. That is why you have to understand that sometimes some trades are there. You don't have to take it until you are in marvelous profits. So yeah, that's just it. That's just what is going on. This is the exact. I'm sorry about that. This is the exact same thing that we are having, and obviously, I'm still in profits even if I lose these trades. Thanks to BTC. we are still shooting all the way up. Now I'm quite not really good about the way BTC is shooting. Yesterday I got this marvelous trace around this zone right here. Very, very good trace, about 20k in profit. This were the zones that I got this trace from, around this zone right here. So below this zone right here was where I got the trace from. Very, very nice trades, right? Very, very nice trades. I got out, I think, around somewhere here when price hits this high right there. So around this, I think around this zone right here with this rejectional level right there. There was a lot of fair value gaps within that. No, this was it. This was it. There was a lot of fair value gaps within that range. So I was looking forward for a little bit of push around that zone. I'll probably get out of the trades, which was this right here. Just a lot of fair value gaps. I did not really like it. So yeah, around this zone right here, I got out around this level right here. You can see fair value gap, fair value gap, fair value gap. And I did not really like what was doing. So I got out of two trades. Even though I added two trades right here, it's also currently left with only one, right? So I've already made a lot of profits on BTC this week. I still think BTC can shoot up, even though it's not really giving me a reason to do so. But yeah, I'm not really that worried about this trade right here. But obviously, let's see what happens next, right? Let's see what happens next, right? Because this right here is solid. This is a very good analysis. And we know where price is going to is this high right here. So even if you're having a drawdown, just to clear liquidities. And that is the problem, right? That is the problem. Price might clear these liquidities and clear me out of the trade and just bounce back upright. So it can also do this, which is very, very hard to watch sometimes. But yes, it happens in price and it's quite normal. You just have to understand that it's normal. But yes, let's see what happens next. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.